Okay, hi everyone, welcome. So we continue with the Rav Ashlag book on world peace. Last time we studied the concept of that the entire world is one community, one society, that we all one. Today we're going to continue and to talk about the level of chesed. It's actually the attribute מידות החסד, האמת, הצדק והשלום נלחמות זו בזו. So this article, Rav Ashlag explained that the level of the attribute of mercy, the truth, justice and peace, they fighting against each other, right? Let's see. So Rav Ashlag saying, והמעט לנו את הקושיים המעשים הממשיים, האמורים, המפריעים על דרכנו חדלי העונים. הנה נוסף לנו עוד ערבוביה ומלחמה גדולה. It says we have so many things to deal and to take actions, with those matters. And now we have another combinations of attributes that create a huge war. מבחינת הנטיות הפסיכולוגיות שבנו, because we all have different type of psychologic things that we, each one think in different ways. כלומר, מסיבת המידות בעצמם, because of the different attributes, each one of us, he think differently. So he's saying, השוררים בכל אחד מאיתנו, that exist in each one of us, באופן מיוחד ובסתירה מאיש לרעהו, and each one can have different, the opposite thoughts, or you can call it a way of thinking from his friend, but it comes from those attributes of the person. Like what Rav Ashlag mentioned before, the mercy, the truth, the justice, and the peace. So those levels exist in each one of us, and they can create, first of all, a fight and a war within each one of us, with us knowing about it or we don't know about it. But for us, it can be something natural to feel like maybe we hate it, we don't want those fights to be within us, but we don't realize that it comes from those attributes. And because of that, we have different opinions and different ways of maybe solving things or helping others or helping ourselves. but he says he created a war. והוא להיות כארבע מידות הנזכרים, חסד ואמת וצדק ושלום, those 4 levels of attributes, as we mentioned before, mercy, truth, justice and peace, שנחלקו בטבעי בני האדם, that each one of human beings have those levels, אם מתוך ההתפתחות ואם מתוך החינוך. So each one of us will receive those levels either from the level of the way we developed ourselves, or from the level of education, the way that we've been educated. הנה המידות הללו בעצמם סותרות הם הזו לזו. So those attributes, each one by itself, they have a contradiction between of them. וכשניקח למשל את מידת החסד בצורה מופשטה, אנו מוצאים את כוח הממשלתה שסותרת את כל המידות האחרות. So if we take in Rav Ashlag saying, the first level of mercy, the government of the mercy, the way that the attribute of mercy works, it's the opposite of the rest of the attributes. כלומר שעל פי חוקי ממשלת החסד, according the laws of the chesed government, אין שום מקום עוד, there's no any more space and room להופעת יתר המידות בעולמנו, to the rest of the attributes in our world. כי מידת החסד מתפרשת ומוגדרת באומר שלי, שלך ושלך שלך. Because the level of mercy, the attribute of mercy, what it says actually, what is mercy? It says, that attribute says, what is mine is yours, and what it's yours, it's yours. So when you said that attribute, there's no room to other attributes to come in. Not the truth, not the justice, not the peace. כדברי חז"ל המשנה, because this is how Chazal, like the righteous, they explain in the Mishnah. The book of the Mishnah, it's from פרקי אבות, פרק ה', אבות פרק ה'. ואם היו בני העולם כולו מתנהגים במידה זו, and if the entire universe and society and human beings will behave with that attribute, הרי בטלה והלכה לה כל התפארת והיקר של מידת האמת. So all of the, he says, so the level of the truth will be disappeared, and all the beauty of the truth will be disappeared. והדין and the judgment, כי בשעה שכל אחד מאיתנו מוכן מטבעו ליתן כל אשר לזולתו. Also the judgment, why? Because if each one of us is really willing to share and to give whatever he have with society, ולא לקחת כלום מאשר לזולתו, and not to take, the desire to receive for himself alone, not to take something that belong to someone else, הנה כבר בטל והלך לו כל עניין וכל גורם לשקר באמיתו. So now how we remove the judgment? By, there's no such a thing as to lie to your friends. So nobody lying anymore, just you have this attribute really engraved in your desire. So you sharing and people sharing with you, so there is a circuitry, but it means you don't have in your mind that level, I need to lie, to steal, to take, to manipulate, someone that he will give me. ואין מקום לדבר אז ממידת האמת כל עיקר. So there's nothing to talk even about the level of truth, because everybody will connect with the mercy. So they're not lying. So they're already connecting with the truth, right? כי האמת והשקר הם היחסיים זה לזה, because the level of truth and lying, right, the two opposites. So if you're not lying, you're already connecting with that level, right, of truth. ואם לא היה השקר בעולם, הנה אז לא היה לנו שום מושג של אמת בעולם. So if imagine it wasn't that attribute of lie in the world, so we never knew about what does it mean to have truth in the world. Because when we have opposites, we know what does it mean, the other opposite, right? ואין צורך לומר שאר המידות שהם נצמחו ובאו רק מחולשת האמת כדי לחזק אותו, כנ"ל והאמת המוגדר באומר שלי שלי ושלך שלך סותר למידת החסד. Right? So he says, if we're talking about the level of truth, or the rest of the levels of the attributes, they become and grown to support the level of truth. Because if there is a verse that says, what's mine, it's mine, and what's yours, it's yours. So it's the opposite from the level of mercy. Remember what the mercy said? The level of mercy said, what it's mine, it's yours, and what it's yours, it's yours. And now we're talking about what it's mine, and what it's yours. Already it's the opposite of the mercy attribute. סותר למידת החסד ואינו סובל אותו לגמרי. כי אין זה הגון כלל מבחינת האמת, לעמול ולהתייגע בשביל זולתו. Because really, if you're talking about the truth, if you're thinking about yourself, and you want to be honest, why I should work for somebody else? I'm working so hard, I'm working for myself, right? So he says the opposite from the truth. If you're going to be honest, I don't want to all day to work for somebody else. I want to work for myself because I need the benefits, I need the energy, I need the love, I need the money. So he's saying, כי מלבד שמכשיל את חברו ומרגילו עם זה לנצל את זולתו, because sometimes, we can create things when we manipulate, or we have different way of talking with our friends, and he get used to that idea, right? Like sometimes we get advantage from other people. הנה, he says, בשביל זולתו, כי מלבד שמכשיל את חברו ומרגילו עם זה לנצל את זולתו, הנה, האמת נותן what the truth gives, the level of truth, its attribute, שכל אדם מחויב לעצור לו רכוש לשעת הדחק, because that level of attribute of truth, it's pushing the human beings to have more and to keep it for the time that they will need it. שלא יצטרך ליפול למעמסה להיגד זאת אותו. Why? Because in a way, in the belief system, that level of attributes pushing us to have things. It doesn't matter if it's money, if it's food, if it's something. Why? Because if something happens, I don't want to be a burden on someone else. Okay, I don't want to be dependent on someone else, and he need to work hard for me. The same way, we don't want that someone else will ask from us, and he will be burdened on us, right? But that's the level of truth. ומלבד כל אלה אין לך אדם שאין לו קרובים ויורש רכושו, שעל פי האמת הם מוקדמים לאחרים. Each person have like people that relative that sooner or later they can receive whatever that belong to him. When a person, let's say, will leave the world, and they are the first one that will receive what his belong is. כי כן הטבע מחייב שנותן כל רכושו לאחרים, נמצא משקר בקרוביו ויורשיו. Because if someone will give everything that he have to other people, so actually he's lying to his family members. Because first of all, right, the normal thing, when a person passing away or leaving the world, first of all, the people around him will receive whatever his belonging is. And if he doesn't want, then they share with others, right? So it's like a spiritual thing, right? They take it or they don't want, they can share it. Or maybe he will leave a will or something after. But even when a person alive, he needs to support and help his family, right? So he says, if a person thinks, I'm just going to help others, he already somehow is lying that he's not helping the people around him. So he's saying, לאחרים נמצא משקר בקרוביו ויורשיו, שאינו משאיר להם כלום שירשו אותו, because he doesn't leave nothing for them, that they will inherit whatever from his belongings. וכן השלום סותר לצדק. Now he's talking about the peace, how he's kind of blocking that energy of justice. It's the opposite. He says, why? כי כדי לעשות שלום בציבור, if we want to create peace in society, in the majority, in the collective, מוכרחים להיות התנאים כמות שהם קיימים, המבטיחים לפי תוכנם להזריזים והפיקחים לא תשירים. It need to be in a way, like part of the rules need to be that the plans and the way that it should happen to each person, that the wise one, what will happen, they will be like the rich ones. And he says, ואת המתרשלים והתמימים להיות עניים. And then the wise that not, the ones that are not really wise, how to control, how to really to be leaders, So what will happen? We work for them. And then he says, they will be what? They will be kind of poor. Because somebody will control them. Not the level of peace. In the name of peace. He's saying that the attribute of peace. באופן שכל בעל מרץ ביותר נוטל חלקו וחלק מחבריו מתרשלים. Because he says, but in society you can find people that they pushing themselves, they doing more, like working more, like because they want more money, more control, more this, more. So they have this passion, right? And the ones that, no, let me just work my hours for my family. So you find there is a huge gap. So he's saying, he called them מתרשלים, he called them they're not really investing enough. והוא חי בחיים טובים ביותר, עד שלא נשאר עוד למתרשלים והתמימים, אפילו כדי חיותם הכרחית. ונשארים על כן בעירום וחוסר קול ובנושים מרובים. And then he says what will happen, so then you see a gap between those that have a lot and live a good life, and ones that barely live in, and they have so many let's say taking loans, and they owe so much to others, so they barely can live their life. It will be very difficult for them. וזה ודאי בלתי צודק, and that is not real justice. So when talking about the attribute of peace and justice, so where is the justice here? He says, so you see, there's no justice. להעניש את המתרשלים והתמימים במידה מרובה כל כך, like in a way it's look like it's look like to punish the ones that not really like pushing themselves and really work hard, but you see the gap of how others receive and what they receive. It's look like it's a big punishment. Al asher lo chamas bekapehem. They can be good people. It's not like they doing negative things, but still they can be like poor from energy, poor from money, poor from different things. What they did wrong that they can receive that behavior or receive that not much. בייסורים כאלו הקשים ממוות. He says, it can be like really like pain and suffering that sometimes can be harder than death itself. הרי שאין צדק כלל בתנאים של השלום והשלום סותר לצדק. So there's not really justice here. We're talking about the attributes of peace and justice. What I have to explain. וכן הצדק סותר לשלום. And now we're talking about, he was talking about how peace relative connect with justice, and now how justice relative and it's the opposite from peace. וכן הצדק סותר לשלום, כי אם נסדר את חלוקת הרכוש על פי הצדק, if we put together, how much we need to share and to give according justice, דהיינו ליתן למתרשלים והתמימים חלק חשוב בערך עם מזרזים ובעלי המרץ, הרי בעלי כוח והיוזמה הללו ודאי לא ינוחו ולא ישקטו. So if we think, what, it needs to be fair. Let's do justice. So we're going to give equally to everyone. So he says, so those that are working harder, have more desire, more passion, more hours, want to have millions, billions, I don't know, whatever they want to have, so they're working more. Now, they're going to fight back. They're not going to say, oh yeah, it's fine, I'm working 20 hours, I'm putting all of my energy, all of my effort, and this one I'm working like 5 hours a day or 8 hours a day. It's fine, he can receive the same, what I'm receiving. You think that's what's going to happen? He says, no, they're going to, not going to stay quiet, they're going to fight back. עד להפיל את כל ההנהלה ממין הזה, till they're going to destroy that type of law and that government that's going to say that. המשעבד את הגדולים בעלי המרץ ומנצלים אותם בשביל הנמושות הללו, because actually they will feel that they're being used and it's not fair. They're doing so much and they give everything or the same to those that doesn't want really to put a lot of effort and to work hard. ואין על כן שום תקווה לשלום הציבור, הרי שהצדק סותר לשלום. He says, so now we see there's no really hope to have like peace in the society, in the majority, in the collective, because now we see that the justice is the opposite of peace. And now Rav Ashlag saying a few more sentences. He says, והנה רואה, והנך רואה, now you can see איך המידות שבנו, how those 4 attributes that exist inside of each one of us, מנקחות ונלחמות זה בזאת. They fight in each other all the time. This is why it says they in a war all the time. Those 4 attributes within each one of us. ולא לבד בין כיתות לכיתות, and not outside of us. It's those 4 levels that are inside of us. אלא בכל אדם יחיד גם כן נמצאים הדלת המידות הללו שולטים בו בבת אחת או בזה אחר זה. So he said those 4 attributes exist inside of each one of us, and they fighting sometimes, all of the 4 fighting against each other, or one of them fighting against one, but always there is kind of a war and a fight within. So one, it's inside of each one of us, and then we're talking about, like maybe like groups that fights against each other because they have the same, let's say, state of mind, or countries also, right? But it starts from the individuals. So he's saying, ונלחמות בקרבו עד שאין מקום להשכל הישר לסדר אותם ולהביאם לידי הסכמה מוחלטת אחת. אלא שכל אחת מפריעה על דרכה של חברתה. And sometimes we can come to that place that we don't find the balance and even to have agreement between those four attributes within. So each one of them, they can actually, להפריע אצל רב אשלג. It can be on the way of a friend. And because they don't have agreement and they said, okay, you know what, let me just, let me to remove a little bit from my ego and let's create more peace or more like a unity between us, then there's no peace, there's no unity. There is just separation. So first of all, I think one of the things we should do, I want to be more aware. I want to be more aware about those four attributes that exist within me. And I want to pay attention how in my life, how they appeared in my thoughts. Because we talking with people, we send in text messages, we send in emails, we talk on the phone, we even in the mall or whatever you're going, you like have your opinion, right? So there is that talk. I want to start to recognize who is talking right now. The justice, the peace, the truth, who want to take control and who is against who in my mind. Because what's happened, when one of them take control and I'm not in balance, then I'm going to talk it loud to the other person. And now start the separation, start the fights, start the arguments. And then it's go to government, to communities, to, then there is a fight in the world, then there is a war, right? So this war, any war in the world, start first of all from the war within. And then how I behave, that whatever that come to me, or if I control it or not, it's come outside toward people, toward the world. And each one of us affecting that energy, that collective. So the first thing is to check ourselves. Again, it's not something we need to think 24/7, because Rav Ashlag is saying, then you can't really live your life. You just, did wrong when I'm thinking. No, you can't do that. We need to work, right? But in a proactive way, I do want to ask, maybe in my morning connections, or maybe in your lunch, maybe before you go to sleep, take that, different times in a day, that I want to take a minute, even 2 minutes, to close my eyes and to ask that question. I want to pay more attention, light, show me, guide me. Who is governed right now? Which government right now took over? And I think I'm right, but just a second. I want now to connect with justice, with peace, with the truth, with the mercy, or they fighting, against each other. So if we're going to develop that sense of a sensitivity to what's going on, we might want to do that restriction that we all study in Kabbalah, that's so important, as our teacher Rav Berg explained. I want first of all to find the way within that I can create unity. Somehow we need to beg for it. Rav Ashlag saying it's not easy to do, but with the tools of Kabbalah, again, he will continue and teach us how to do it. But in that level that we're at right now, first of all, Rav Ashlag is just putting everything on the surface for us to know that it exists and to know that it's there, and I want to pay attention to it. I don't want to just no, everything is okay. And I want to recognize it. That's the first level. And then we might receive more tools how to deal with it. So I hope that point really help us, because I know it's helped me. So it's always good to hear, again, something that we need to work on it, and especially when it's within each one of us. So let's open the mics and say Shabbat Shalom and wish all of us a blessed day. And also it's going to be the new moon on this Saturday night, so I hope you can make it and come and join us. It's a very special new moon. We know it's before months before Pesach, and it's the new moon of Purim and all the Ilulot, and we have a lot of birthdays in this month, a lot of blessings, a lot of miracles and wonders. So we want to come and get together and do this connection all together. It's Saturday night, 8 o'clock. So let's wish Shabbat Shalom one to each other. Many blessings. Yeah, it's mercy, justice, truth. What am I missing? Peace. Right. Peace. Mercy, truth, peace, and justice. Yes. Beautiful. Okay, everyone. Love you all. Bye. Shabbat Shalom. All the best. Chodesh Tov, everyone. Bye.